Hey guys, welcome back to Journey with Rebecca. My name is Rebecca and this is my journey that I'm sharing with all of you. And today I'm in the kitchen making a lavender salve. I've made salves in the past and I have absolutely loved them. So this time I am choosing to make a lavender one. I absolutely love the smell of lavender. I distinctly remember the first time I've actually ever smelled lavender. Like that's how much it's like ingrained into my brain. Like I smelled it and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. I absolutely love it. Lavender has many soothing properties to it. It's great to help you calm down, to go to sleep. It smells good, it makes you feel good. So I am preparing to continue to make the salve. I actually started it yesterday because what you need to do is start with an infused oil. So I did all of that yesterday. What I did was I took 12 ounces of an olive oil and I added half a cup of lavender to that. I'm just trying to think to make sure my measurements were right. I added half a cup of dried lavender and then a quarter cup of coconut oil to that, and I let it slowly simmer on the stove and let it infuse that good lavender into the olive oil. So I already had dried lavender, actually still have some left over. I've started my own home apothecary, and one of the things in there that I have is dried lavender. I love lavender. I'm sure I'll say it a lot during this video. I love lavender. I love the way it smells. I love the way it looks. It's pretty when it's dried. So I have a bunch that's dried here, still left over from even the half a cup that I used yesterday. If you're starting with lavender that isn't dried, you're going to want to dry it first. You don't want to introduce any moisture into the salve that we're making. So you would want to dry it. You could do that in a dehydrator. You could do it in the oven. You could do it in the sunshine. There's a ton of methods that you can use to actually dry it out. Mine was already dried, so I didn't have to worry about that step, but I did have to actually infuse the olive oil. So the olive oil sat on the stove for probably 2.5 to 3 hours yesterday. Very low, no boil, low heat, just slowly infuse that goodness into the olive oil. And this is what I have left. So this was the lavender, the olive oil, and the coconut oil. And now what I need to do for the next step of this to actually make the salve is drain all of the lavender out of this, because what we want left is just that concentrated infused olive oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. I have a cheesecloth here, and I'm just going to throw it over a strainer in a bowl, and what we want is half a cup of olive oil to actually make the salve. Okay, so I have my bowl here and I'm just going to take my cheesecloth. This is 100% organic cotton cheesecloth, not dyed. I'll put a link to it in the video if you want. I grabbed mine right online. If you don't have any at home, if you want to use a different method instead of cheesecloth, you could also do that as well. So I'm just going to take it in my strainer and pour it directly in there and just let it slowly go through into the bowl below, and then I will wring out all of that goodness. I don't want to leave any of that behind. I've let this sit for a few minutes, and now I'm just going to take it and wring the rest of the oil out of the lavender. Since I started with 12 ounces of oil, I will have more than I need to make this recipe, but that's okay because I'm actually going to do something else with the leftover lavender oil, which will be another video that I'll have coming up. So just want to get all of that good oil that's been infused out of there. It smells amazing, obviously. I forgot to mention, so I let the oil sit on the stove for 2 to 3 hours at a low simmer, but then I just turned it off and I let it sit overnight. So it's just been sitting with the lavender in the oil, just infusing. So next thing I'm going to do is just measure out half a cup of the oil that I need to make the salve. So obviously I have a ton left over now, which I can use for many other things, which I'm really looking forward to. That will definitely not go to waste. I have the rest of the ingredients for my salve all measured out. I have a 1/2 ounce of organic shea butter and 1/2 ounce of beeswax pellets. And so what I'm going to do is I have a makeshift double boiler. I don't have a double boiler. I actually saw one at the thrift store yesterday when I was there, but I figured I really don't need it because I just make my own at home and I don't need to spend the money on them. So I just have a canning jar that I'm putting into my pan that I'm going to turn on the stove. And the first thing you want to do is add your beeswax pellets. These are going to take the longest to melt, so I just like to add those first. And then once they're added, we're going to put in the shea butter. If you didn't have shea butter and you wanted to use like a cocoa butter or something like that, you could do that too. It's really up to you. Beeswax, shea butter, and then I'm going to add in my oil. And now you don't have to, but if you want to, for an added scent, you could add in 15 to 20 drops of a lavender essential oil, which I'm going to do just to give it a little extra scent. And now just turn that on low and you're going to simmer that until it all melts down and comes together. As I mentioned before, there are a lot of great effects to lavender. It helps balance your mood, calm you down, and it has healing properties that when infused into the oil are going to feel wonderful on your skin, especially if it's dry and needing some extra moisture. Unfortunately, I did not have any of these little tins that I've made salves in before. This one actually has menthol balm that I've made for like aches and pains that I keep in my apothecary. I don't have any of these left. I've used them all. So I ended up just using these little jars, which I typically put sugar scrubs in. These are going to set pretty quickly. I have a ton of oil left over. I'm actually probably going to make some more of these and gift them. I'm thinking my niece in particular who has small children, this would be great to just put on after a bath and get the kids all settled down, stuff like that. But this is great to give as a gift, as well as I'm definitely keeping some for myself. But I'm just going to let these set now, and then I'll show you what they look like once they're all set. This salve will be good up to and even over a year as long as there's no moisture that's introduced to it. Obviously, if you use it before a year, then it won't last that long. But this is the Purple Dead Nettle salve that I made last spring. I'm getting down to the very end. You can finally see the bottom. I don't use it all the time, but like during the winter, I use it on my heels and my feet a lot because they get like, you know, dry, cracked, and sore in the environment that we live in. It's just dry. I feel like I'll use this one, the lavender one, a lot more just because it's like a nice calming nighttime thing to get the aromatics going and calm you down before sleep. But either way, regardless of the kind of salve that you make, I think they're really good for you and they're good for your skin. And I'm really looking forward to making a dandelion salve. I saw my first dandelion the other day and I got really excited and I was like, this is so weird because like I literally in one of the houses I used to own would go around with my little shovel and I would dig every single one of them out of the ground so they weren't like, I didn't have any in my yard. Now I can't wait for them to come up because I want to use them because they're so good for you. They're so medicinal. They're great for so many uses. So I'm really looking forward to dandelion season. The salve has completely set now. It's been a couple hours. I went and ran some errands and did a couple things I had to get done so I wasn't just waiting around for it to set. I ended up making more, so I have 3 jars now, but they're much fuller than just the original 2 were. Guys, this is amazing. It is so soft and so nice. It smells really good, and my hands are really dry because it's still winter here basically, even though it's actually springtime. It's so soothing on my skin and it smells so good and it feels really good too. So I think I'm gonna end up gifting 2 of these and then keep the one for myself. So I will put a link to these jars. I believe these are 7 ounces. I'll put a link to these in here. I'll put a link to these tins in too, because this would have been a little bit more ideal. But these little jars, they come with straws. So that's cute. They come with a plastic top, and then they also come with a cork top. So depending upon what you're doing or how you're storing it, and you know, if you need to get down to the bottom, you can just scoop it out. I love making salves. For all of the healing properties that they have, depending upon what you're using them for and the herbs that you're using. Like I said, I do still have some leftover oil, even though I made some more. So I'm going to be doing something else with that. So check back later for a video with me using that, because I definitely don't want to waste the oil. Also, I still have all of the lavender in my cheesecloth that I took out. I need to figure out what to do with that. It feels like such a waste to just like throw that away now. I don't know if I could like re-dry it. I have no idea. So I'm going to look into that to see what I can do with it, because I definitely don't just want to throw it away. That seems so wasteful. So thanks for hanging out with me on this journey. It was super fun to make this. I hope you guys try it for yourself too. And like, once you have the base of the salve that you want to make, you can add whatever oils to it that you want, or, you know, well, you can switch up the oils, you can add whatever herbs you want, you can switch up, you know, the base of the like coconut butter, shea butter, whatever you want. You can have fun with it, and it's super useful as well. So thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and I'll see you guys really soon. I have to sneeze. What the hell?